and far lower than the general adult population's median age of 46.
And so one of the questions that we asked about each one of these groups is, how does the word church affiliated with Christianity stop these families who need support and a community from entering our congregation? How does the word church stop them from even entering the doors? This is back to you, Dennis.
We, as I mentioned, we had the benefit of a wonderful facilitator. We had 11 members of our main task force, and we expanded it to include other leaders as well. We asked ourselves, we wanted to engage in a variety of exercises, including what does UCS represent to each of us? What does it mean? How did we get here? I talked a little bit about what it means to my family. It really has been an extraordinary difference in the way we've raised our children and the people that they've become. My wife and I, Colleen, are very, very grateful for that experience. That's just one example, and I'm sure every one of us in this room can think of many, many examples of how UCS has really changed our lives for the better. We asked ourselves, what makes for a good brand, and what is a brand? I think that Laura and I were joking about, we both work in brand marketing, and the word brand could use a brand strategy. Because it has, especially in recent months, become associated with a lot of negativity. Without mentioning names or brands, we've been hearing a lot about branding in a very negative way, and brand over the recent months. The way I look at it, the way I was taught in my career, during my career, is a brand is a trust. A brand is a promise kept, right? A brand is more than a name. It's not the name, it's what it points to. It's the essence. It's the life within the person, the institution, the organization that it is representing. And so that's how we looked at brand. That's how we worked with the concept of brand during the workshop. Think of it as a promise. If you have trouble with the word brand, think of it as promise or promise kept. We talked about personas. In other words, who are the people who constitute this community, and what are they bringing with them? What are their ages? What are their concerns? What are their family makeup like? What is their? Do they come from another religious institution? Have they been UUs their entire lives? So we looked at each of those kinds of personas. We talked for quite a while. Most of the workshop was a creative session around what does that all mean? How do we reflect that in symbols and themes and songs and ideas? And then we brainstormed on name options. So as I said, a brand is a relationship. Another way to think about branding is from this great quote from Jeremy Gardner, the lead brand. A relationship. It's incarnational. In other words, it's a life. It lives within you and within your audiences as a gut feeling. I'm just going to read off some of these words because I think they're really key for everyone to understand how we got here. Brand is present in every interaction you have as an omnipresent and ubiquitous expression of a deeper relationship. It's evolving because a brand is a living, breathing thing that is beautifully imperfect, fallible, and unfinished. Now, for sports fans, think about New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs, right? New York Yankees are supposed to win. That's their brand. They're winners. They're supposed to win. When the Yankees do not win, when they don't win the World Series, it's off-brand. Off-brand. Chicago Cubs, lovable losers. When they win the World Series, it's off-brand. Off-brand. But their brand is evolving. And because it's no longer lovable losers, they're the winners now. So that's brands evolve and over time and over events and the course of circumstances. And last but not least, and this is something we're very sensitive to because we're used to, it is emotional, and it's our identity. And so we wanted to go through this process very, very carefully, cautiously, recognizing that change is difficult, even though it's constant. It still is difficult for people to adjust to it, including ourselves. So as we've gone through this process, we've made a lot of effort, and we're going to continue to, my commitment, our commitment of the entire team, is to make this as inclusive process as possible. We are not going to feel like we're finished until we have every single member of this congregation has had a chance to voice an opinion and give us their feedback on our idea. And so while today is a great kickoff, we've scheduled, and we're going to talk more about this towards the end, a number of other meetings throughout the course of the next several weeks to make sure that we don't miss anybody who has an opinion on this.
Sorry, Erica. So one of the things that we did in preparation for this workshop is that we went and talked, we worked with a facilitator who said, well, who are your audiences? And we tried to get them down into a few, and we talked to people within those audiences. So these were some of the pictures of the people that we talked to. You want to go to the next one? So the first one, our audience was families from multiple religious backgrounds, and by the way, I got all of these pictures through Facebook. So just be careful what you put on Facebook, because it might end up in a presentation to a group of leaders. We have lots of families from multiple religious backgrounds. There was one woman that I talked to whose father was Jewish. She grew up Catholic, and she was married to a Japanese man who had a completely different religion, and then she was like, and that makes me you. I'm talking multiple religious backgrounds. So this is the Malik family. I talked to both of them, and the two questions that we asked all of the different audiences: what do you need or desire from UCS? Or posed, what do you value at UCS? And then why do you come to UCS and not anywhere else? So what do you need or desire? All of them had great words: spiritual balm, a place to reflect, meditate, thoughtfulness, community of people with shared values, time outside Sunday mornings that is meant to be together, fun social activities with the entire family, and creating meaning when your lives are in the rat race. That is what they need or desire. And why do you come to UCS and not anywhere else? It's one of the few places where you are in a safe zone and you have a shared vision toward life. So then our next audience was Boomers and Beyond. And Craig, where are you? Thank you. I love some of Craig's answers. So what do you need or desire? Thoughtful, intellectual, moral, and ethical stimulation. The opportunity to drum and make music. Might be a niche. But I think everybody needs to make music. The comfort, maybe just drumming. The comfort of being in a tribe of like-flaming liberals. The opportunity to participate in actions with meaningful, real, and detectable results. And why do you come to UCS and not anywhere else? The music, the sermons, the camaraderie. Audience. So this is single parents and parents with adopted mixed-race children, which is very specific, but also a real growing segment. And this